India's recruitment market is broken. Like thousands of people apply for a single job role.
A lot of jobs has been already taken away through AI, especially the 0 to 2 years experience kind of jobs.
Have you seen like behavioral change in terms of hiring from a founders or recruiters perspective over the years?
That's the first time I heard a term called thinking computer, right? So that term struck me a lot.
2013 was the time when you entered into AI when people never knew about AI. 2018 October you started your company. Again, the time when people were not knowing about the AI. What made you do all these things?
I can clone Rishav as a recruiter with your face, with your voice, articulation style, everything. Very similar to how do you speak, right? So I can do that and make sure that your recruiter works for 24/7.
I am feared of that. I don't want to do that because my thinking ability, my decision making powers, I will be reducing while doing that.
But I don't think we can stop this adoption of AI in anything near term. SDRs, I don't think that role exists in next 2 years. Human will be in a loop, not on front end, right?
What is responsible AI? India's recruitment market is broken. Like thousands of people apply for a single job role which is opened by a company. The process, the timeline, the system takes so much of time for the recruiter to individually identify and hire a right set of candidate. To solve this particular problem, I found a founder of a company called Zappy Hire, and today he is the guest with us, Jyothis from Zappy Hire. Welcome, Jyothis.
Hey, welcome. Thank you so much.
So since we talked about recruitment, 2026 has been that particular time where people talk about that AI will take the jobs. More and more companies are adopting process in terms of how well they can hire good candidates. What made you bring this particular idea that you see that how is the job market now? We'll come back to your story, but first we want to talk about how this entire market of job is there. Why recruiters struggle to find a right candidate? Why do they face or they put so much of time into hiring one candidate? All these things. Right. And yeah.
Look at the current market with AI. There is a lot of changes happening in the current market, especially in the talent acquisition side. A lot of candidates are not getting the calls. They are not getting the right responses because a lot of jobs has been already taken away through AI, especially the 0 to 2 years experience kind of jobs. With that, we see there is a potential to use AI to make sure that the first level of screening can be completely automated in nature, and make sure that the other side of the JD or even the company side of it need to get a good candidate also. So finding the right people or a candidate from the large corpus of applications received, it's a humongous job. They need to put a lot of effort, time, and so on and so forth. So there we thought, why can't we bring this kind of a technology to ensure that they find the right candidate within short span of time, right? The hiring velocity is one of the term which is people started talking about it, and we are trying to solve that as well.
The talent managers, like when they go out for hiring any particular candidate, what is the most time consuming, like one is scrutinizing the profiles, which I feel is the most time consuming process. So which part do you have identified in the whole process of hiring that this particular part is very time consuming process for a recruiter, and this can be completely automated or can be replaced via human intervention using AI or tools? Like which is that particular part? It is interview, it is assessment, it is scrutiny, all those things.
So basically, when we look at this entire spectrum of recruitment process, we identified that screening is one of the area where most of the recruiters time taken, right? Then the next one, which is people not too much talk about, is the coordination. Lot of things time, because there are multiple stakeholders involved in a recruitment process, and it takes a lot of time, right? So when we looked at deeper into this process, we identified two types of delays. One delay is the process delay, like you rightly mentioned. It could be the screening, it could be the interview scheduling, or it could be identifying the right candidate from the large corpus. The second set of the delays is the coordination delay, where the three major stakeholders, candidates, interviewers, and recruiters, right? Sometimes recruiters not getting the right feedback from interviewers. It takes some time because they're also busy. Sometimes candidate is not accepting the offer. Those kind of the delays are there, right? So these delays can be completely automated in nature, so that the speed of the hiring can be better. So we eliminate the coordination delay by automating the engagements between the stakeholders. Two, we also automating a lot of work within that, including scheduling, interview scheduling, or screening, those kind of things throughout this process. So process delay and the coordination delays.
So now in the whole journey, like I see that you started your career, I think in 2005, right?
Yeah.
And 2013 was the time when you entered into AI when people never knew about AI.
Absolutely.
2018 October you started your company. Again, the time when people were not knowing about the AI. Now we are sitting in HSR Bangalore where everyone talks about AI. Even if AI is not required, people are using AI. What was the transformational year for you, like right from working at a particular company as a employee, then joining a company in 2013, becoming a CEO of that company, eventually starting your own AI company in 2018. What made you do all these things?
While I started working with the large MNCs, I found out applying new technologies and solving somebody's problem is something which I'm really passionate about it. My first decade of my experiences falls under MNCs and technology and so on and so forth. Second part, I started exploring other than the tech. How can I engaging with the people and understanding their requirement? Can I suggest something and solve this problem? So that is something which is I really were very interested, right? And when 2013 I met my ex-CEO, she was just done her PhD from Barcelona Institute, and one JD she gave me was super exciting, that she said you need to do everything. That everything is that the JD, I got it, right? So that's super exciting me because I never got this kind of a job description. I really wanted to do something which is something from the scratch. Creator mind, which was really hit me that, okay, I need to do something on this kind of a sort, which I need to start from scratch. That is where I decided, okay, I need to think something differently. And another word which has hit me at 2013 was thinking computers. So at that moment, I was more thinking or interacting with the people where taking computer as a data processing machines, nothing more, nothing less. That's the first time I heard a term called thinking computer, right? So I that term struck me a lot. And that is a moment I started learning about AI, what is going to happen in the future. And I thought this is the right opportunity to grab this. So like, as I said, two things. One is technology excitement. This is a new technology. Second, I wanted to do something from scratch as well. So this combination of these two things actually excite me a lot. So that is where I decided to move out from that my MNC well-settled job and jump into a startup. Maybe I don't know how many.
What was the name of the company?
Cognicore.
Cognicore.
Yes. So that is it's a Spanish-based company based on Barcelona, and we started working on some interesting projects. We got a couple of customers outside India, within India, and it was quite a journey of like 5 to 6 years of building that company, and very early era of AI.
Interesting. But what made you start ZappyHire? Like when you were working in a company, obviously things might be going good. You were learning over there.
Yeah.
But what was the pain point which you witnessed that you ended up hiring ZappyHire? Because during that time, I don't think the AI culture was there.
Yeah.
And neither recruiters in the market were comfortable using tools in AI. I found these particular people started using more tools after Corona.
Yeah.
2018, people were not that used to tools and all those things. People were doing hardcore recruitment, like sitting people are calling each other via all the platforms. But what made you do this during that time?
So, I'm a person who loved that 0 to 1 journey, right? So at one point of my previous startup, I also wanted to do something my own, and we were also trying to find out which is the right market to look around. And I found this is an interesting problem because as a founder, I supposed to build a team here in India. I scaled the team from 0 to 70 plus people. During this journey, I see this is a great opportunity to apply something on the recruitment side itself. When I look at that market, I see that most of them are follow the digitalization, not an automation. So that was a eureka moment for us. Okay, why don't you try to apply something in the recruitment to automate something? And another thing which has hit my mind was not from a always think from a company or a recruiter side. Think from take the other side of the process where candidates, right? Most of the candidates is feeling like they are part of that entire process, more like a process driven, no experience for them. But when we deeply look into the hiring is nothing but a marketing, right? Because you ended up taking one person but interacted maybe 1,000 people, right? If you actually use that process itself into a sort of a marketing element, irrespective of hired or not hired, your company's name can be a branding element there, right? So that is another element which we bring into the table, where while we are try to automate it, keep that experience also on the table, so that recruitment can be changed from a process driven to an experience driven.
But as a over the years, like how's the job industry, the way we hire got changed? 18 to 25, if I talk about 7 years, 26 we have just entered. How did this change? Like in terms of thinking, as like I don't even hire someone if I don't like the person in terms of behavior and attitude.
Yeah.
I keep the skill part very separate. Like my requirements in terms of hiring is very different. Like I'm a startup, for example, 25 team members, 30 members, and I don't want to have people who are not adaptive, and also the behavior wise and attitude wise is not good. For me, resume is not the criteria. For me, the skills is not a criteria. For me, whatever background they are from is not a criteria. Have you seen like behavioral change in terms of hiring from a founders or recruiters perspective over the years?
Yes, of course. I would say that is more on the process driven than the core element of the recruitment. I still see that people give a lot of value to the attitude and the personal behavior and competencies. That is still there. But how do you take up that entire process is probably changed drastically. See, for example, before it was like more people on a phone and try to understand the person. Sometimes there's bias comes in play. Of course, humans are biased. So those also will be, taken the recruitment in a hard way. Now, and the thought process also slightly different, Rishav, because when we interacting with our first 10 customers, take a first 10 customers of us, it was quite difficult to convince them to use AI because they feel that, the human element is not there. Because they feel that human element is very essential for the recruitment. Even the maturity of the technology at that moment is not good as what we are seeing right now, but it was decent enough.
But still, I also feel that human level interaction is not there. Like I interacted with so many AI platforms of hiring. I certainly feel that I can obviously, even if I filter the resume, even if I throw 4 or 5 questions for screening, I still want to talk to. I have a fear that what if I end up I lose the opportunity to end up talking with the right person also.
So here in our concept, we are not using AI as a decision maker. Okay. We are using AI as an enabler or an empowerment tool for the recruiter to know about the candidate more. So it's not that we are, say that this is not we are eliminating the candidate using AI. Instead, we will give you more elaborated view of this candidate and ask you to take a well-informed hiring decisions, right? Because it's very important for you to understand the candidate in all different aspects. That's the same for any decision, right? If you take a decision with the more data points, your decision may be more true, right? So the other thing, like imagine if you're actually doing it without knowing that candidate, just by the intuition of your first or second call, there is a high chance it may be ending up with a wrong hire also. Now, with the AI technology maturity, I can clone Rishav as a recruiter with your face, with your voice, articulation style, everything very similar to how do you speak, right? So I can do that and make sure that your recruiter works for 24/7 at any point of time without any challenges and so on and so forth. So what we are bringing on the table is the element of the human, as well as the process can be automated in such a way that the entire time to hire can be reduced in a larger extent.
Interesting. But on the recruitment perspective, over the years, like when a founder hires and when a recruiter talent manager or a HR hires, is there a behavioral or the requirement change did you observe in the market?
Yes, yeah, that is true, because founders, when directly hire, they will look at their passion, right? They will give a different priority always, because they know that people, or they can sense the people fire in belly, right? Who has that fire in belly type. But recruiters is more like a mechanical type of elimination. The founders will give a more life into that recruitment. But from Sappy Hair standpoint also, we are not looking at any companies less than, let's say, 500 employee size organization. We are looking at companies more than 500 enterprises level companies where a lot of hiring happens. There are two reasons. One is attrition, or two, expansion.
Exactly. That's how, because people who are hiring more often, people who are attrition rate is high, 20%, 25%. Over there, this kind of automation platforms, I think, is more useful. Where people like us who are hiring 2 people in a year, actually for us might not be useful as of today.
Absolutely.
Because we want to hire people on passion.
Yeah.
We'll teach the person over the time. Yeah. But now, since we are talking about hiring, the job market, we say that people will lose job due to AI. While you talk on the candidate side, do you feel that fear from the candidate side that AI is replacing us, AI is taking our jobs, AI is not able to give us more opportunities in the market, like especially from the freshers perspective, because they are the ones who are coming straight out of the college. I have spoken to so many college students while going to the colleges, first year, second year. From second year, they are tensed. Then I explain them, adapt things so that people will hire you. Absolutely. Rather than someone teaching you the same thing for past 20 years. Absolutely. That might not help you. So have you encountered any situation with the candidate where they are feared enough in the terms of that AI, due to AI, our jobs are going, etc.?
Absolutely, yes, Shiv. So if you like it or not, that's a situation where students also a little scared about how are they going to get their first job. That's a question. Apparently, I don't have an answer to it because I also see how these things are changing and evolving and so on and so forth. I see a drastic change in IT field, I'm sure. We have customers like manufacturers like Maruti Suzuki, Himalaya Wellness, and those kind of customers are still hiring a lot of people. But eventually, when it comes to the IT side, I see this is drastically dropping the number of hires, especially on the fresher side. Freshers has to definitely, as you rightly mentioned, they have to learn more new skills. They should know how to use AI as a tool to improve their productivity. This is very essential, right? So we are going through a era where a lot of things are silently happening, right? We may recall this era as historically changing the nature of talent market, right? Maybe we will not recognizing right now, but maybe over 10 years when you look back, this is the time which is actually happening.
But I am also seeing one thing, that more the AI, more the platforms, more the technology is coming, people are becoming dumb. Like if I ask, I put a story on Instagram that I want to hire someone who will make our existing process and things more smoother by implementing workflows and automations. Simply. And reply me in a unique way so that I end up replying you and I will talk to you. I got 200 plus DMs in my Instagram. So I get replies, people share my stories. Out of 200, none of them was perfect reply. People are replying, can I? Hire me. I can do whatever you say. I can create websites and automations. I never talked about website itself. So what I realized over time, more and more things are coming. People have stopped thinking also. So do you think this also can become a reason of people not ending up to a good jobs or not ending up getting hired? Because I think even if we implement AI, still brains are required in order to use that AI.
Absolutely.
Do you think that change has happened over the time that people stopped using the brain a lot?
Yes, many cases I also observed in my company also. A lot of people are even using this as a reflection machine. They'll talk and then they'll get the feedback and so on and so forth. But eventually, that intense thought process has to come from the human side and use it as a maybe a assistant to you to refine your thoughts, not the other way around. So this is actually happening. I also observe a lot as a personal capacity as also see. But I think over a period of time, this is also get mature. Like, how do you feel when you introduced into computer, right? There is a lot of fear came to our mind. Will it take a lot of jobs? Because that was the point where a lot of accountant job are taken away. Maybe a couple of the clerical job has been taken away from the people, and even we are not remembering our phone numbers. We could actually remember a lot of phone numbers back then, right? So those changes are happening. But I mean, as a process, you evolve, right? As a human, we evolve multiple stages in our life. That happen to all the time. I don't think we need to worry about anything what happened past and what is happening right now. Take it as a process which is anyways happen in during the entire the spectrum of our human life. And the changes what you're seeing, probably after 10 years you might see some other changes. And this is happening, and this is a cyclic in nature.
Moreover, one thing which you told about that people have started doing other way around. Like I use AI to do those things which is taking my time and I just get it done via that. But now people have started asking AI and then implementing that in their life. I don't want to do that actually, because my thinking, I am feared of that. I don't want to do that because my thinking ability, my decision making powers, I will be reducing while doing that. I am asking what AI says, I am putting that. So that I have been seeing a lot, as you said, and it's becoming very common, due to which the ability of thinking is also decreasing. What will be the way to stop this? Do you think any kind of a thing will happen where if this gets stopped, or like it will keep getting continued?
No, I don't think you can stop it any other progress of AI in anything near term. What I can even think about bringing some policies by the government to ensure that there is a responsible AI and more controls over the AI usage and data usage and so on and so forth. But I don't think we can stop this adoption of AI in anything near term. That's what I don't think.
Interesting. I don't think policies part can be done because government makes so many policies in fintech also. People still go to jail. That part, no, nothing can be changed in the longer term, or people get more comfortable, or people become more advisable in terms of being a policy in place. So you have been started your career from Bangalore while working in a company, but when you did your startup, you went back to your hometown, Kerala, and you started from there. You were in a startup hub, but still you didn't start it from here. You went back to your hometown, which is very uncommon because I will not do that. And what made you shift to your hometown and start your startup? Because in Kerala 2018, I don't think any startup ecosystem might be there.
It was there actually. It was there. The reason is there is a very strong ecosystem has been started from 2013 onwards. So there is started something called Kerala Startup Mission. Converted right now, it is called as a Kerala Startup Mission. It was a different name it called before that. And it is a government supported entity, and they did a lot of good things about startup ecosystem in Kerala. For example, they give grants, right? You don't need to, it's not even loan. They will give grants. You can start your business with low operational cost. Being Kerala, one of the best thing you can look at is how can we start a business with low operational cost, and Kerala is the best place to do that. You will have a good talent also. Technically, there are a lot of people are there in Kerala who is really good.
People are good editors over there.
Yeah, right? So yeah, so this talent pool is there, and the support from the government also come with those kind of schemes which you probably not seen anywhere in other states, as far as my knowledge. So this made me to think that why don't we start in Kerala itself, where I can start my business, make sure business is sustainable with a low operational cost. At the same time, I can travel to Bangalore at any point of time for the connections and interactions, and those kind of things are still there also, right? So that is where I thought, okay, let's do that in Kerala and show them world that we can also build companies from Kerala.
What was the challenges like? For example, people come from different cities, tier 2, tier 3 cities to explore Bangalore, and they make their HQ and base over here. People stay here for 15-20 days. People go and meet people. People attend events, meetups, all other things, referrals, everything happens over here. So that attraction point for Bangalore has become too high after Corona. I also came in May 2022. And it attracted me. I stayed here for 15 days. It attracted me. It made me shift here. It made me set up so many things over here that I can't move out now. When you started in 2018 in Kerala, what was the limitations as compared to what we have got enhanced in 2025-26?
I'm not sure if it is already enhanced, but what I see a major drawback back in Kerala is availability of the risk capital, right? So that is something probably in Bengaluru, right? This is the best place to get some good funding, and people are very much aware of this asset class. That's not the case in Kerala, right? So people are still are not getting the familiarity with this asset class. Risk capital is still not available a lot, and so on and so forth. Bangalore, of course, I can compare with the Kerala, but there is a different model altogether where we can start from tier 2 and sell to the world, and so on and so forth. So for last 6 years, we built something called Zappy Hire and started selling to large enterprises inside India, outside the market, and so on and so forth. So possible, definitely possible. Of course, there are some drawbacks as well.
Interesting. But do you see it is being changed? More and more people, localites, are not moving out from Kerala and starting in over there only. That change, have you seen?
Yes, a lot in fact, because I've seen, I've started seeing the journey from 2013 onwards, the ecosystem, how it evolved right now where it is, and so on and so forth. I see a drastic change that people are staying back in Kerala itself and starting their own business with taking all the supports from the governments, and so on and so forth. Even the mindset has been changed, because over last few years, people actually moved from a mindset of become an employee to give an employment, right?
Everyone has done that now.
That has been changed drastically. So that wave has been reached to Kerala as well, and with the current ecosystem infrastructure, definitely there is an improvement, and the acceptance of startup culture is also really, really great.
Interesting. What do you do apart from like, because you are in Kerala, like in Bangalore, people either in weekends they go for meetups, too many meetups. Like I play sometime pickleball or cricket, all those things. Over there, it's completely about nature. I also went to Wayanad.
Yeah.
2 times I went, and there's so many good places. It is known as like people go to travel over there.
Yeah.
So many beautiful places are there. You stay in which city of?
Kochi.
And what do you do apart from working, and what do you explore around in Kerala?
So a lot of trekkings are available, as you rightly mentioned. If you want to unwind a little bit with the nature, Kerala is the best place for that. And we are good at Ayurveda treatments, and a lot of Ayurvedas, spas and treatments are available there in Kerala. Personally, I love chess as one of my hobby, and I also active in the ham radio, like a wireless communications, and so on and so forth. So a little scientific hobby, But also I enjoy that during my weekend.
The reason why I asked this, either people know Kerala for this Wayanad and all, or they know because of Kerala Story movie. So two phases of things. It is shown very beautiful, then it shows very disturbing part of it. Then people but still people go and visit over there. Like I also, it's just a bit far from this, but still, it's worth going the place in terms of the nature wise. If I talk,
Absolutely, you will have beaches, you have hilltops.
and I think the AQI is less than 50 now over there.
Very clean energy. Yes, 2025. Very clean air, very clean water, and those are really, really good in Kerala.
Do you ever thought that you want to shift to Bangalore to grow your startup, to onboard more enterprise clients, to onboard, connect with more VCs, connect with more ecosystem enablers, more ecosystem partners, because that enables people. I have seen one of my friend building from Gurgaon a completely AI platform. They are also coming to Bangalore for meetings. They went yesterday, 3 days they were here. And then they're also thinking that for that particular part they can shift to this particular city, because most of the VCs who are investing in AI products and AI layer kind of a thing, be it any kind of AI products or the multiple things are being built, VCs are here itself. So do you think that ever you had a thought in your mind that you want to shift over there?
That's an interesting question. This thought came to us multiple times, but for Sappy here, we choose Mumbai. We started a small office in Mumbai because larger enterprises are there in Mumbai, especially non-IT companies and CHROs are available there. So we started a small office there. Bangalore, due to multiple reasons, we thought this is more approachable. Overnight I can come over here and do the meetings and stay here for some times. Those things can happen, but Mumbai is not that, right? It's a little far from Kerala. So we took Mumbai as a middle, because we have customers from Delhi and Kolkata and those kind of areas also. So we decided Mumbai would be the better than Bangalore for time being. Don't take this as a Mumbai versus Bangalore comparison here. You talk a lot about Bangalore. I am saying little negative about Bangalore.
I will put that in that way only, that you don't like Bangalore. But obviously every city has their own like advantages and disadvantages. What I felt, I stayed in Chennai. I like Chennai for beaches, but I don't like for weather. So people like Bangalore for weather, but they don't like for traffic.
Yeah.
So every city has that particular thing. Absolutely. It's just what particular is your key point. For me, I would want a good weather. I can survive in traffic.
Sure.
But I can't survive in bad. So everyone has an individual choices, which I figured out because I stayed in multiple parts of India. Noida also I stayed for a year. But now when we coming back to the Zappy hire as a whole, how do you see that in upcoming 4-5 years, the recruitment market will get more evolved with the processes, what is happening? Because people have replaced the scrutiny in initial level of decision making, whether we want to talk to the person or not, sending the invites, and then after that interview is happening. After that, the notes about the interview is going, follow-up is happening. In fact, the offer letter is being rolled out by tools and all those things. Then acceptance, then follow-ups, all these are being automated. The central part is being still manual, which needs to be manual because two people are talking.
Sure.
Where it will go, like in terms of how faster effectiveness the candidates will become? Recruiter side, I have seen the effectiveness is come. But in terms of candidates, because some people start using some AI while interview to see the answers on the screens and they reply, which so many videos come across. People have bought in so many tools to do that. Still people find another loophole. So where will it go in terms of longer run, like when we see more and more things are coming into the market? Will it become confusing? Will it become more effective for the candidates as well?
Yeah, what I feel is this adoption of AI definitely is going higher and higher in the recruitment, and I envision a stage where human will be in a loop, not on front end, right? Machines will take care, or agent will take care of it. We also bring a lot of agentic approach in the platform in Zapier as well, where we have built 6 to 7 agent on the top of our platform Zappy Hire, where even can it do the negotiation of salaries based on current market versus what we offered, and the negotiation points. Because what do you need for a negotiation? You need more data points. An AI agent can bring all these data points and say that, hey, this offer is maximum we could actually offer for this particular role is this much amount. You ask this, why do you think so? Yeah, right. So those kind of even that negotiation part can be taken into AI. So from in the nutshell, what I see this human going to be into more loop and pushed into more strategical zone than the clerical part or the transactional part of the things, right? I'm not saying that the AI agents will eliminate the humans from this process, but definitely you don't need this many people, right? And people or the human can be only in the loop that what is actually happening in the particular process.
I also saw a recent particular graph released by Anthropic that which all particular jobs will get effective in the market, like customer support, managerial jobs, management. Obviously, all those construction, civil, everything was hotel management. Everything was very safe.
Skill based.
Because it cannot be replaced. Any human
For time being.
But they have predicted for 4-5 years in that graph which I was reading. But there were so many roles in the market: finance, legal, all these things. Do you, on the demand side, if you compare from 2018 to say suppose 2020 before Corona and after Corona, what kind of roles which you have seen declined and what kind of roles you see more people hiring on the recruiter perspective?
Good question. In fact, all the entry level, transactional level jobs are going to be taken care by AI. For example, it could be developer role, or it could be the first level finance role, legal, recruiters. Those kind of role which is doing repeatable and simple task will be taken care by or taken away from them through AI. That for sure. But when you look at it, the people are more spending in terms of the strategical role. That's very important, which only human can do it, right? Because even if you look at it, the responses you're receiving from any LLM need a lot of changes into it. It's not that they come up with a very perfect strategical responses, right? It's always sometimes you need to correct it or you need to edit the prompt to make sure that it understands you correctly, right? So those kind of things, those kind of roles are going to be stay here for a long time here. I don't think it can taken away from the AI in at least in the near term, like 5 years, 10 years.
As a SaaS provider, what kind of jobs roles which you see recruiters are posting on your platform or using your platform to hire or screen the candidates as of today? Whatever jobs are being like high demand jobs. Like I don't think people are coming here for hiring the customer support executive anymore. Might.
But the relationship management, right? Because that's something which is people are still hiring a lot. The reason is you need to have that conversation, especially for the
talk about customer success.
Those kind of roles still remains there because you need a person to be interacted with the customers, understand and sense if there is any risk coming from that particular account. How do we mitigate that risk, right? And I see a lot of sales are also getting hired.
HDR? Because no,
HDR, but the AEs, account executives, where the negotiation, closures and so has to be happened through the system.
Did you saw the drop rates in the HDR roles?
Yes, we also started using our own AI tool to do the cold calling automation. I can clone my best SDR's voice, his articulation style, everything, and do 100 or 2,000 calls in a day than one person sitting and do the, because if you know, right, because being founder and put it into sales, you know how many calls a SDR can do. Out of 100 or 8 to 9 would be connected, and out of that 1 or 2 can be booked or 3 can be booked. But here it is n number of calls can make it. If not happening, it's immediately switch to the next call, keep doing all these things. And so SDRs, I don't think that role exists in next 2 years. Because
the reason being, we used to see so many people hiring so many SDRs when I started working, like 18, 19, 20, 21, all this time, because people wanted people to do sales. Then they had overqualified people, because we used to get a lot of work in my company to do the initial round of screening via the leads what they are receiving via ads. then the sales
call.
discovery call or the initial filtering call,
Yeah.
that is completely gone, where we don't even get that work now,
Correct.
which I have seen over a time. And obviously company either used to outsource or they used to hire people in terms of SDR or cold outreach. That is completely been replaced.
Yes.
But do you still see the impact on the people who are doing a demo, people who are sending pricings, people who are negotiating? Do you see impact over there?
No, I don't think. As of now, I am not seeing any greater impact on that. There are products. I know many products who are doing a lot of automation on that segment, creating it, having conversation and pull out the right information to do the negotiation and so on and so forth. But at least in the market right now, that replacement is not completely visible as of now. It may change in the next 2 or 3 years, but as of now, the adoptions are little lesser. Because sales, as you know, right, it's more like person to person,
relationship based.
Yes, relationship based sales, at least in Asia market. US probably that is slightly different market. Their structure and the way of they do the sales is slightly different. But in India, of course, or even in Asia, that relationship is one of the key element to do the sales.
Interesting. But there's like one last thing I want to ask. Like, what is responsible AI? Like, people use AI for many things which people don't need actually. People use AI at places we don't need. People start putting AI into some products where it is not needed, and people misuse AI for things which can cause harm to humans. How do you say that? What is responsible AI? Like, where to use, how to use, when to use?
How to use is a very important thing, because even GDPR as a framework which they have introduced, this is very important right now in the market, especially in the EU market, that the users of an AI system should get trained on particular aspects of AI, what you need to give, what not to give. So even though when you use AI, you should have some sort of a framework to ensure that you use it properly, right? So when you talk about usage of AI in the personal space, it can be dangerous. Multiple people already commented about it. Even the founder of the LLMs are commented about it. You should keep the things personal things, keep away from those kind of a conversations. That part is very important in the going forward, that what are the elements or what are the areas where we can use AI, and as a user there is a responsible element from our side too, not from the creator side also.
Obviously from the side.
So whichever comes to you, you should use it properly. Like a simple example is internet, right? As a user, you can use internet in any ways, right? So you should be very responsible to use internet in such a way that it won't harm many people and it will benefit for a personal aspect as well. So similar, if you draw a similar analogy here, AI also should have this kind of a framework to enable the responsibility and some sort of a right framework to use it as well.
Interesting. Great. It was great speaking with you, and I thank you so much for coming straight from Kerala, doing this. And it was very good to know about the Kerala startup ecosystem as a whole.
Thank you so much.
People, Bangalore, Mumbai, Delhi, these three places people consider as hub. Over the time which I have seen, Pune, Hyderabad and Kerala, these three are the new cities which people are evolving. And from these three, what I have also witnessed in the recent time, Kerala is coming out very good in terms of this, because some or the other day, some event is happening in Kerala Startup Mission. I also see one thing happened before last 4-5 months before itself. Yes. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much for the invite, and thank you so much for this conversation. It's also very enlightening, and I do follow your YouTube channel as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you.